Hi everyone, thanks for coming down and spending your Friday night with all of us. It's an honor to have you here. And yeah, so I'm Deborah, the co-founder of Society Staples, and I'm just going to share with you my story. So I think my story is something that it's very different, and you will start to realize why. So when I was young, I had super big dreams, right? So I always could be often heard telling people that I wanted to drive a Lamborghini when I was 25. I wanted to stay in a house like this at Sentosa Cove, right? So I was extremely materialistic. But yet at the same time, and essentially I just wanted to rule the world. Okay? So yes, that was me. This was me when I was 10 years old. And that continued on all the way until I was 17, okay? But let's backtrack a few more years. So I grew up with two brothers who are autistic, right? And I've always been painfully aware of the amount of opportunities that they were being denied of. I was an extremely privileged kid. I could go to so many countries like Japan, China, Australia for my school exchange programs, and my brother's school didn't even bring him to somewhere as close to Johor, which is only like a 10 minutes bus ride away, right? And one day when I was in secondary 3, preparing for my exchange trip program to Melbourne, my brother actually asked my mom, why does Deborah get to get so many opportunities and I can't even be like the class monitor in my school? Both my brothers are in mainstream schools. That's the sad reality, right? But I guess in the environment that I grew up in, I was brought to think that persons with disabilities were things like that. They were strange, they were weird, they just essentially were a liability to society, that they couldn't do anything they could to help themselves. And it's always a very rigid one-way system where society has to help them, and it was never the other way around. And I was also learned and brought up in the way to acknowledge that the reasons why my brothers could not get any opportunities in school was simply because they are lazy, right? Because if all of you were in the Singapore school system, you would know that only people that does extremely well in academics will get opportunities like exchange programs, leadership, camps, so on and so forth. Otherwise, you fall through the gaps. That's it. You don't. Such opportunities are just not open to you. So that was how I thought about my brothers. Extremely sad. So on the other hand, my co-founder Ryan, which sadly can't be here today, he grew up thinking that the world was perfect, right? So the difference between me and Ryan was, Ryan also had a brother with intellectual disability, right? But he never once thought that the world was nasty, the world was mean and unkind to people like them. Until one day, when he saw this Storm article that literally just shattered his world. It was a group of special needs school teachers, as you can see here, making extremely derogatory remarks about the students that they are teaching. It was horrible. When he saw this, it literally just shattered his world, and he immediately called me and told me, hey, we got to do something. We got to change the negative perceptions of society towards persons with disabilities, right? So this was in 2011. Back then I was 17 years old. Ryan was 19 years old. So we had nothing, we knew nothing, okay? But the only thing that we did extremely well and spent thousands of hours every weekend at Kallang was dragon boating, right? And so that's what we did. So we thought, okay, we love dragon boating, we are already spending so much time at Kallang, why not just add in another 2 more hours? So in 2012, we formed Deaf Dragons. But the funny thing here is, when Ryan asked me to form Deaf Dragons together with him, I was not this great noble person that wanted to do something so greatly for society. I didn't believe in the idea at all. I slammed down his idea so many times. I was one of the people, together with the Dragon Boat community, who told him repeatedly, day after day, that Deaf Dragons wouldn't work. Because to me, it just didn't make sense, right? Dragon boating is such a vocal and communicative sport. How could a group of deaf people even do dragon boating? It just didn't make sense to me. And beyond that, I told him, how could it even be possible that just a dragon boat team like that could actually make an impact on society? That a team like that could actually change the mindsets of society? It was totally just off the charts to me. So, but along the way, so Deaf Dragons was very lucky, right? So we started with an extremely good start. We had the sponsorship from StarHub, the support from them for a 3-year sponsorship. We also won countless of local and international competitions. And I guess as Deaf Dragon started performing better and better in competitions, the community started respecting them. The community started looking up to them. People took notice of them. People took interest in them. And then initially, as when they were isolated in races, right now when we go races, people actually walk up to us, shake our hands and say, hey guys, good job. And people add them on Facebook. People started becoming friends. And it was also along the way where I had a major life transformation, because as I was coaching them, initially I always just thought that it's just me helping them, me giving 100%. I'm not taking anything back, right? But in just 3 months, my entire mindset just changed. Right? Because the amount of things that they taught me was probably so much more than I can ever teach them by just dragon boating. And that was when my life started changing. So with that kind of impact that we saw that we had on the dragon boat community, we really wanted to take it further. We wanted to bring it to a societal scale. We wanted to replicate the kind of impact that we had on the dragon boat community to a societal scale, and that's why we set up Society Staples. So the social enterprise that I run now really just aims to lessen the exclusion and discrimination of persons with disabilities, and we do it through our team building programs and our sports initiatives, where we allow participants to step into the shoes of persons with disabilities in our team building programs through experiences like the deaf culture, where they learn sign language and just interact with deaf people, and the blind experience, right, where they really get to understand and empathize with how difficult it is for blind people to just move around and really just do daily activities. And in our sports initiative, it's just a common platform where we bridge gaps between society and persons with disabilities using sports as a channel. So this is one of the boot camps that we have run so far. And in just 7 months of running Society Staples, Deaf Dragons and Society Staples both have gained huge amount of recognition from the media. We have been nominated and have gotten so many awards, so much support from everyone around the world. But that's just one side of reality. That's the beauty of reality that everyone sees, right? No one really sees the other side. And what's the other side? It's an extremely tough journey. Every single day there are challenges, there are struggles that I'm facing on a day-to-day basis. But there's one thing that affects me the most, even up to today, which is this, right? I can't continue on. I can't because I don't have resources. I can't because I don't have money. I don't have expertise. I don't have time. I'm still a part-time student, right? So many excuses, so many things, right? But I think the key thing here that, if really the one thing that I want all of you to take home is there is really no perfect time and there's no good time to do anything, right? There will never ever be a situation where you have enough resources, enough manpower, enough time. It's just impossible, right? So next time when people ask you, when people tell you nothing is impossible, tell them this is impossible, right? There's never a perfect time. That's impossible, right? But the thing here is, I took that leap of faith. I took that very first step out, despite not even knowing that, Deaf Dragons could create so much impact, and followed by Society Staples, and up to now we are still creating a lot of social impact. I never knew that just a Dragon Boat team itself can actually turn the entire Dragon Boat community around. I never knew, that just a 17-year-old girl who was so materialistic and didn't believe that society, and just, thought that society was unkind and it was forever going to remain that way, would have a life transformation a few months down the road. It's really just that one step out, right? And I just want to end off with this because, who knows, that one small change, that one small step that you take out today might just be the change that you want to see tomorrow. And with that, I end my presentation. Thank you.